going on, guys? So we did it. We cracked the small world code. We'll go over all the bridges after the deck list, but here's the deck list I've been testing. I'm actually liking it. If we get enough reactions on this video, we can go ahead and work on a gameplay, replay, combo, tutorial, everything like that, breaking down the build and really showing you how to truly play this deck. Because if you look at it, it might be a little confusing and it might not quite make sense, or it might just look bad. But actually, I've been having quite a bit of success with this. I have a post-DUNE tournament coming up online shortly, and we'll see how we do at that. So it'll be fun and interesting. Anyway, we have the 1 Cyber Dragon, 3 Core, 3 Hers, 1 Naxxer, 2 Galaxy Soldier, and 1 King Regulus. Then we have our 2 Revolution Synchrons, the new card out of DUNE, 1 Quick Draw Synchron, 3 Symphonic Warrior Guitar, and 1 Mics. That is the spice, by the way. 3 Cyber Emergency, 1 Repair Plant, triple tuning to go with our Synchrons. It is Cyber Synchron, as I'm calling it, if you will. 1 Ready Fusion, 1 Instant Fusion, 3 Small Worlds, 3 Ash, 3 Droll, 1 Kurikara, 1 Jizukiru, double talents, and 3 infinite impermanence. So anyone who knows me knows that I like to play my going second cards. I like to have a good amount of going second cards. As you can see here, we actually have 13 of them. 13 out of 43 cards is over 25%, which is a number I like to try to go for. So 13 going second cards, and it works really nicely. We are playing over 40, and we might say, well, we don't have the starters or the cards to do that, but that's where Small World comes in. And you might say Small World's not good. Small World's a neg 1. Well, what's worse, a neg 1 or bricking? Like, if you can't play, or you can at least play, but you neg 1 in the process, what is worse, truly? Our deck is not a deck that has ever been great at resource card economy, resource management, things like that. So we kind of take what we can get, and this is where we're at. I think a lot of these different engines actually work nicely together, and there's a lot of intricate little plays that, like I said, we can go over in a separate video. Things like if you have the guitar and like Hers Soldier, it's actually more beneficial to use like Soldier pitch Hers, search, then use guitar, discard to summon out the mics, and now you can get a second normal summon if you need it, but you also have 2 level 5s on board with the 1 card still in hand, so it's actually more efficient to be able to keep things like Core in your hand, or to keep Galaxy Soldier in your hand for follow-up, or different things like that, or even being able to then normal summon that one that you keep in your hand over top of, say, a Core if you happen to have normal summoned that earlier. And then you can go into things like Durandal if you have Droll, or into River Stormer to search out your King Regulus. And there's a lot of, like I said, intricate little plays that these cards offer each other. A third Soldier is something I'd consider going back to again, because sometimes you end up with 1 in your hand. And obviously, if you have 1 in the grave, 1 in the hand, it'd be better if you had 1 in the deck. However, at the moment, I am content with just the 2. Regulus not only works as a bridge, but is actually searchable very easily in this deck. And one thing I do want to mention before we get into the bridges, every monster you see here, just about every single monster can turn into every single monster. The big exception being Revolution Synchron here cannot equal Ash, Galaxy Soldier, or Cyber Dragon, which vice versa means Cyber Dragon, Galaxy Soldier, and Ash cannot turn into our Revolution Synchron. However, other than that, every single monster here can turn into any single monster here. Core can turn into Hers. Hers can turn into Soldier. Guitar can turn into Revolution. And you might say, oh, that's a level 3 machine. Yes, but you can say go Guitar, Kaiju, Revolution. Like I said, it's turning this into that, not directly, but you have a bridge in between, and we will get and go through all the bridges. No need to, like I said, play more. I actually tried out 2 Hers as well, and then I just found myself kind of wanting another card. The other Hers or Soldier was kind of the flip-flop if I'd play 3 Soldier or 3 Hers, and it kind of came down to Hers would work out better with like Quick Draw or with Guitar than Galaxy Soldier does. So at least these cards can utilize Hers better than these cards can utilize Soldier, or vice versa, because they are not lights. Ready Fusion and Instant Fusion were just two more free extenders. Possibly going to take those out just to free up the extra deck space, but as of right now, they're just free level 5s. They help make Nova, they help make your Durandal, your River Stormer, they can help make your Baron. They put a level 5 on board for your Revolution to put into your Hot Red Abyss. They're just, like I said, free bodies, free extenders at the moment, but they could easily come out, and then you'd free up 2 more extra deck spots. I did also consider just maining Duality in case we go second. Then you can, obviously, you'd have 2 more spaces here. You could even main just 2 Duality if you want. You could main all 3 and play 44. That's another thing I've been messing with. We will see where I end up at the end of it, but so far so good. I've been actually really liking this. The 1 Mega Fleet, 1 Fortress, 1 Rampage, because we are siding that Duality for when we want to go second, because I do choose to go first despite playing a plethora of going second cards. Truly, these 2 are the only ones that are bad going first, but they offer a lot of bridges and they help get to your deck. The Sea Monster and the Cybersaurus, again, it's a tuner and it is a machine, level 5, so they both work. Then we have our Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. I think it's the best card to go with our Revolution because, you know, you bring back your level 5s. If you say, like, you could go for, like, Fear or a Dry, and they're level 4, and then you go into, like, a level 7, and then you bring it back, and you go into, like, Crystal Wing. However, with level 5s, it's more natural for the deck, as you can see, between, like, Mike's and Quick Draw and Galaxy Soldier and Cyber Dragon and Ready Fusion and Instant Fusion. Level 5s are way more common in our deck. And then you go into Scarlight, which actually gives you a win condition in time as well. And then you just bring it back and you summon a Hot Red Abyss, which is actually just an Omni Negate as opposed to a Monster Negate. It is on field, so that is a slight downside there. It doesn't get the attack boost, so that's a different downside. However, you can say Infinite Impermanence doesn't work with the Dark Ruler argument unless they put a monster on board for some reason. But, like, Infinite Impermanence, if they, you know, summon, I don't know, do something, and then they play a card where you can't interact with them directly with a monster effect, you can chain something like Impermanence and then chain the Hot Red Abyss later in the turn, or in the chain, to negate that face-up card. Baron because Quick Draw, because Theseus, and yeah, it's easy to make. It's not hard to do. It takes less space than putting in Soul Keen and Crystal Wing, so we don't have to do that either. You can't use Quick Draw. It's for the Ready Fusion, Instant Fusion. I knew there was something with that, like why we always went Soul Keen. But Quick Draw is still a machine, level 5. It's searchable via tuning, and that is why we play it here. It's just essentially another Galaxy Soldier that uses any monster. That's all Quick Draw is there for. You have to use it for a Synchron tuner, or Synchron Synchro. As I say, I knew there was something in there, like, why wouldn't I summon Baron more in testing? And that's why we don't summon Baron more, because you need one of these 2 cards. So if we took out these 2 cards, you could also take out the Baron, which would free up 3 spaces in your extra deck, which is actually kind of big. But again, for now, I like these, especially because, like, a late game Baron, like, you top deck Instant Fusion or Ready Fusion, you banish Core from your grave, summon, like, Cyber Dragon, and then you Instant Fusion or you Ready Fusion, summon it out and make a Baron, like, late game off a top deck. It's just really, really good. Like I said, River Stormer, it's pretty easy to make in a lot of different combo lines, and it just gets you a Regulus on top of your combo. Durandal, if you open Droll, it's really nice to just rip apart your opponent's hand. It's like Droll and Reincarnation. They get no hand. Downside is you get no hand, but I mean, you pretty much spend your whole hand anyway, so you take their hand away, and then you end with your board. Cyber Dragon Nova, obviously double infinity so that you can follow up, banish your core, summon your next, or revive your Nova, and if they do something to it, you can float it into Rampage, or then you throw down an infinity on top of it, because if you revive infinity, they can interact with it because it's got no negates yet, but if they do something to Nova, you float it, and if they don't, then you throw down an infinity, and then it can negate already. The 1 Zeus and the 1 All Mirage. So again, just kind of, I don't want to say it's not a final build, but I have been working on it for quite a bit. Side deck's always in flux, kind of changing. We'll see what we can't do if we get a ban list. Probably August, I'd guess, after Worlds, before regionals and everything pick up again. I'm hoping we kind of get like a format reset. It'd be interesting, but that could change a lot too. So we'll see, and let's get on into all of our bridges. Bridge number 1, Symphonic Warrior Guitar. So, and keep in mind, a card on side 1, like here, core can go to guitar, and then guitar can go back to side 1 for Galaxy Soldier. I kind of put going first cards on side 1, going second cards on side 2. So, like Cyber Dragon, core, Naxter, Soldier, and Regulus go into guitar, and then guitar can go into any of the 9 cards, or vice versa. It's your turn. You have Droll, it's dead. You're going first. You have Kaiju, it's dead. You small world Kaiju into guitar into core. Now you have core. So you can turn a Kaiju into your core essentially because it is a machine. It is a machine. So anything on side 1 or 2, again, for all these can go into the bridge. And once you go into the bridge, you can come out of the bridge on either side. You can actually trade core to guitar for a core, but that would just not be very smart. On the other side of that, Symphonic Warrior mics. I do want to mention you're not going to want to use mics, obviously, if you have guitar in your hand and you're intending on using it, because guess what? You're not going to be able to at that point. But now we have core, hers, Naxter, Regulus, Revolution, Droll, and Kaiju. If you use King Regulus as your bridge, we have Kaiju as our going second card, but otherwise you can turn like core into quick draw. You can turn Galaxy Soldier into hers. You can turn mics into hers. You can turn guitar into core. You can really do just a lot of different bridges and play lines with it. I'll probably throw all these images up on Discord or Twitter or something like that at some point, so make sure you follow our socials for all that fun stuff. The next bridge that we have, I think it's number 4. I don't know, I should have numbered these. But we have Droll and Lockbird, which obviously can get us to Ash because they both have 0 attack, or to Kurikara because they are both level 1s. Additionally, hers and Naxter are level 1s. Quick Draw, mics, and guitar are wow, I can't even talk, are all also wind. Kurikara, we just mentioned, links up with Droll. It's also a fire, so it links up with Ash. It's a level 1 for hers and Naxter. It has 1500 defense, so it works with core. And for that same reason, it's 1500 attack, so it works with our guitar. So you can turn guitar into Div Incarnate, into Ash. Like, you have everything you need in your hand. You don't want to use guitar. You can turn that guitar into an Ash or a Droll if you want to through Kurikara. Some other things we can do, we know Droll, Ash, Kurikara kind of have this cool loop going on. If you want to turn your guitar into Revolution, you can go guitar into Ash into Revolution. You can go Kurikara into Ash into Revolution because level 3, that's pretty cool if you ask me. Getting closer to the end of this, here we have Quick Draw, mics, Regulus, Revolution. Through your hers is how you get to your Kurikara or your Droll, or how you turn those cards into something like Revolution. There are some repeats in here where side 2 and side 1 are the same, but I didn't want to just put like just Revolution here because there's other cards that work with this too, and it's a bridge you should know. I did want to put Quick Draw on here, but I didn't want to confuse anyone, or not Quick Draw, guitar, because guitar and hers are both machines with 100 defense, so you cannot use guitar into hers. However, you can use guitar into Cyber Dragon, into core, into Naxter, into Galaxy Soldier, into Kaiju, and then you can go back into any of these like Revolution, Synchron, Regulus, or what have you. So guitar into those cards isn't going to be on here. However, you can, it's the same bridge here, except it's any Cyber Dragon other than hers. Obviously, you won't be able to get into your Droll or your Kurikara unless you use your Naxter, which maybe you want to play one more copy if you're using it as a bridge. Me personally, I just don't use it for my bridge. The last bridge we have to show you guys, and if you have any questions at all, let me know down below. I will do my best to answer them. If you have any suggestions, again, I'm always open, always all ears. I have tested a lot, so don't take any criticism too harshly. Sometimes I really have just tried most of it. But anyway, so Cyber Dragon, Core, Hers, Naxxer, Soldier, obviously they're all machines, so they can all go into your Revolution, which means they can get to your Ash, or they can trade out for a Kaiju, or they can trade out for each other, and this is just our final bridge. Again, Revolution cannot equal Ash, Galaxy Soldier, or OG Cyber Dragon. However, other than those three, every monster in the deck can turn into any monster in the deck. So I think it's actually very consistent. It's just not the most resource efficient. And that's kind of where we're at. Super consistent, not that resource efficient. However, it's a rogue deck that's still being figured out, and I think that there's a lot of potential. Make sure to stick around because I do have a build playing more of a pure Cyber Dragon, but with small worlds still intact. And yeah, until next time, guys, thanks for watching and take care.